I have just genuinely good news for you today. Last week, I reported to you that in the midterm elections, Republican Martha McSally won against Democratic Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema. That has changed. Since election night, they've been counting uncounted ballots, which you should do if the ballots are valid. And as it turns out, those uncounted ballots were disproportionately from the blue parts of Arizona. And Sinema took what is now an insurmountable lead and has defeated Republican Martha McSally, McSally conceding. So Republicans will still control the Senate with a majority, but by one fewer, or is it one less seat or one fewer seat than we thought? In either case, they're going to have not as many seats as they believed they were going to have. And very interestingly, when it comes to Kyrsten Sinema specifically, number one, the last time that Arizona even had a Democratic senator was in 1995 with Dennis DeConcini. And that is notable. Also notable that Kyrsten Sinema, she appears to be the first U.S. senator elected who formally says she has no religious affiliation. And we can all sort of understand that there were and are very likely some senators who are not actually religious, but they still say, I am Christian, statistically speaking, or maybe I am Jewish in the case of some. So this is not literally the first non-religious person, but it is the first senator who formally states that she is not part of any organized religion. And this is why you've got to fight every race and count every ballot. If we had accepted, Pat, on election day that this was it and not continued to push, she might not have won. We now have updated midterm results. It's good for Democrats. And this is why we have to make sure that every single ballot, Pat, is counted in Florida, because it might not change the results, but it might.
Yeah, and Kyrsten Sinema, she's not the most progressive person out there, but hey, it is Arizona after all, and I'd rather see a Democrat win that seat than a Republican. And it looks like the Republican majority in the Senate is going to be 53 to 47. That makes it slightly easier for Democrats to take back the Senate in 2020. That road now becomes a lot more possible.
And I want to talk about in the context of 2020. So last week when I gave sort of my analysis of the results, which were this was pretty good for Democrats given the circumstances, but at the same time, I understand wanting more because we have such an outrageous administration right now. And I get it. When you see this cartoonish disaster that we have in the White House right now, you think, wow, if people understand what's going on, we should be absolutely crushing. And we had a situation where the Senate was stacked against us. Just slightly losing really isn't that bad when you consider that. In the House, Democrats have, as of right now, picked up 32 seats. This may not be the overwhelming victory some wanted, but the truth is that this is the most seats that Democrats have picked up in a midterm election, in any election, in the House in a very long time. I don't even remember exactly when the last time was that Democrats had plus 32 in an election in the House, but this is a good result. The Democrats won the popular vote in the House by 5 million votes. They won the popular vote in the Senate by about 14 million, if I recall correctly, and if you account for the fact that for Dianne Feinstein's seat, you had two Democrats running, you can take away all of Kevin DeLeon's votes. I think it was about 2.5, 3 million. You still have Democrats receiving 11 million more votes in Senate races than Republicans. So there's now a very clear set of goals for 2020. The Senate is going to be tough, even though the map is in some ways better for Democrats in the Senate in 2020, because Democrats are going to have more safe seats than Republicans. The Republican seats, as Pat pointed out last week, are mostly in some pretty red states. You're almost definitely, I think, Pat, going to lose Alabama back to Republicans. You had a serial child sex assaulter who only lost by a few points. Any reasonable person is probably, and by reasonable, I mean not a serial accused sex assaulter, Democrats will probably lose Alabama, but there is a path to controlling the Senate there.
That is true. Democrats will probably lose Alabama, but hey, they can probably beat Cory Gardner in Colorado. They might be able to beat Joni Ernst in Iowa. Tom Tillis, he's vulnerable in North Carolina. And Susan Collins, our good old friend from Maine, I think she could lose that race as well.
So the point is, you've got to fight every seat. You have to fight for every vote. And until all the votes are actually counted, you aren't done. And we will see what we ultimately hear about the recounts that are currently taking place in Florida. And that's actually what I want to talk about next. Today's show was made possible in part by simplehabit.com/Pakman. At this point, the benefits of meditation have been pretty clearly shown to be significant. And that's why I'm so excited that Simple Habit is sponsoring the show, which is a guided meditation app that just won the 2018 Google Play Award for Best Well-Being App. I use the app myself. All you need is 5 to 10 minutes a day. Simple Habit lets your brain go on a quick vacation that it very likely really needs. Maybe you've been thinking about giving meditation a try. You don't know where to start. Simple Habit is really the perfect way to just jump right into it. Great for beginners, equally useful for people with meditation experience. They've got quick meditations for first thing in the morning, for falling asleep at night, for clearing your mind when you're stressed, meditations for decision making, for getting motivated, getting focused, getting creative. Hundreds and hundreds to choose from. They're designed and recorded by well-known names in the world of meditation and mindfulness. And you can track all of your progress. So whatever time of day it is, whatever mood you're in, there's probably a meditation on Simple Habit that's perfectly suited for whatever you're trying to accomplish with meditation. Go check it out. You can try it free for 7 days at simplehabit.com/Pakman. I've put a link underneath this video.